These are late spring scenes from 2017. It's been tough to live in London these last few months, so I tried to get away as much as possible. The first place I went was Berlin. I loved Berlin so much. I would like to go back. I did not love Basel in the same way. I do not have to go back to Basel. I thought it would be a good opportunity to host my own private Art Basel and see Switzerland because I'd never been. And for that, I fulfilled my desire. Switzerland is incredibly picturesque. But the most valuable part about my trip was the opportunity to escape the intensity of exam season and to reflect on my time in London thus far. London was tough, but I was tougher. And partially for that, I'm not impressed by the city. It didn't give me what I thought it would. I guess most of that was already inside me. It's bright outside. I'm pretty much the only brown face in this place, and I've learned that all white people really like them some Monet. Not my thing, but to each his own. I've also learned that older people dress like they're going to the theater, like when they come to fancy places. London showed me something interesting, which is something that I might have already known, but I had to see it again to really internalize it. And that was that sometimes the way that I imagine something isn't how it's going to be realized in my life if I get what I want. And I have to mitigate those feelings of disappointment, of displeasure, of fatigue with being immersed in this thing that I wanted so badly and now I haven't and it's not what I thought it would be. And I had to learn to do that with grace, with gratefulness at having had the opportunity at all, and then with enough ingenuity and imagination and faith in myself to continue to dream new possibilities and manifest them in my life. Because maybe I wasn't wrong about London, I'm just greater than I was when I wanted it. And that, along with the knowledge that in a few short days or weeks, I would be headed back to the United States, just had to sustain me. But those were still very long days. Very, very long days. With that said, my trip to Switzerland was well timed and lasted just as long as I needed it to. I got my share of art at my Art Basel. Basel showed me, or rather, I learned in Basel, that there's nothing evolved about my comfort in my own solitude. I like myself. I'm glad to like myself, but being alone all the time isn't right for me, and it isn't more important, more valuable than spending more time with other people. In the same way that the brain mirrors a universe and creating all these synapses, roads, connections to other people, I need to have those connections, and then I need to use them and maintain them and foster new ones. Being alone all the time is comfortable for me. It's what I know. But just because that's what I know, or that's what I've become used to, doesn't mean that that's what I should continue to do for the rest of my days. I'm learning to shapeshift. I'm reminding myself that shapeshifting is how I transform, and transformation is growth. And I insist on growing. My life requires it. And I'm not going to be delusional about it anymore. I see the changes I need to make, and I'm going to make them. There are always choices. Everything is a choice. I'm tired and bored. I'm bored and tired. I'm tired and bored. I'm bored and tired. I'm tired and bored. I'm bored and tired. I'm tired and bored and bored and tired. The end. The revelations of my travel are interspersed with me entertaining myself in London. I find ways to do it, but sometimes I need to go home. Home can be wherever I'm getting what I need. Home can also be where the people who love me are. It's a feeling or a place or both at the same time.
Talented Mr. Tribe Squad, beyond qualified, multiplying the dollar sign. The grind is real, it's Palestine. My sidekick came from Columbine. Fly shit came from Solomon. Surprise, bitch, I never lived a false moment in time. Riddle me what kind of omen am I? Y'all know the slogan is right. I said a weapon should be chosen and fired. My brother Scott Storch replied. Look, now say ho! Say ho! Say do that shit, do that shit, do it! Forks on this hat, nigga. We from the Bronx, New York. Shit happen. Kids clap, let us start the play. I think niggas in the squad, yeah, that's all they fake. I wish it come where like this is. Have a meal for the charm, nigga. This is nice. Got the freedom in front of the building, Trinity. Yeah. 10 years till the tip, they still figure me bad. Now as a young, was too much to cope with. Why you dick? Motherfuckers nickname took. Should've been called on robbery. Stars. Why maybe bring larceny? I did it all, I put the beats to the puzzle. This is all. I knew me and my people was all bubble. Came out the gate, I was about your shit. Train nigga with his Hollywood. I said my niggas don't dance, niggas pull up a pants. What they do? Do the rock away. Say it. Lean back, 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 lean back. Some niggas don't dance, niggas don't break hands. What they do? Do the rock away. Some motherfucker lean. Little nigga, little nigga.
Being home didn't mean sitting around in the house I grew up in, looking at myself in the mirror. It was just a place where I could take more things for granted, not having to wonder where I would sleep and what I would eat. So, even though I was home, I still ended up seeing a lot of new things, or things that I hadn't seen in a very long time. One of the best parts about being back in the United States was letting somebody else curate the experience. When I travel alone, I always have to be on and ready for anything and planning my next move. Being at home and being around family meant that they were planning my next move, or someone was. And I didn't have to think so hard about all the possibilities and always be ready for something to go left. That's a sensibility that is useful and exhausting. Very exhausting. So it was nice to just calm down.
Feeling for it at all.
There's a chandelier similar to that at Craig McCall Hall, our concert hall, and it's white, and it's exquisite. It's beautiful. Let's see how it should be, and everything should be.
This is very big, and when he started making these so big, he was pushing the boundaries in terms of what the hot shop could handle.
Oh, I have a skull.
Being home was my chance to recuperate after running around the world for a few months. Running around the world is cool, but it's not better than being at home or with family or sitting out in the sun.